Navigation. To navigate this video, you can use the timestamps in the description and in the comments if you're on mobile. To skip back and forth through the video, use the arrow keys or double tap to the left or the right of your screen. If I'm speaking too fast or too slowly, feel free to use the change speed option built into YouTube. Piece types. There are 3 piece types on the Rubik's Cube. Centers, our first piece, determine what color every side of the cube is. For instance, this is the yellow center, this is the green center, and this is the red center, etc. This being the yellow center, this makes this side the yellow side. There are 6 center pieces for every single side of the cube. Edge pieces, a second type of piece, have 2 colors. For instance, this is the yellow-orange edge, where one side has yellow on it and one side has orange on it. This is a green-orange edge, where this side has green on it and this side has orange on it. There are a total of 12 edge pieces on the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Corner pieces, the final type of piece, have 3 colors on each piece. For instance, this is the yellow, orange, green corner piece. There are a total of 8 corner pieces on the cube. Every single piece on the cube is unique. There are never 2 of the same piece on the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. For instance, this will always be the yellow center, it will never be anywhere else. This will always be the yellow-green edge, there are no other yellow-green edges on the cube, etc. The centers cannot change places. This means that each center determines what color face each side is. For instance, the red is always next to the green is always next to the orange, and the orange is always next to the blue. On some Rubik's Cubes that have stickers, they may have a different color scheme. Have a look at your cube to see what color scheme it has. This is the standard color scheme, with green opposite blue, orange opposite red, and yellow opposite white. Notation. Hold the cube like I'm holding it now. Cubers have an established notation, showing you how to do certain moves in a string of letters. A single letter indicates to turn a single side clockwise once. For instance, R means to get the right side and turn it clockwise. U means to turn the upper face clockwise. F means to turn the front face clockwise. This is always relative to where you're holding the cube. For instance, if I hold the cube here, this now becomes the R move, this is the U move, and this is the F move. To indicate a counterclockwise move, we put an apostrophe after each letter, and we call that apostrophe prime. For instance, this is R prime, where we turn the right side counterclockwise. This is U prime, and this is F prime. A double turn is indicated by a number 2 after a letter. For instance, this is R2, this is U2, and this is F2. Step 1. Solving the cross. Our first step in solving the cube is to create a white cross on the bottom, where each of the cross edges match up to their centers. So here we have a cross on the bottom of this cube, and each edge matches with its corresponding color. Hold the cube with the white center facing upwards. We want to find an edge with a white sticker on it, and that has another color on it, and that will become our first edge. Here we have the red and white edge. What we want to do is align the red side with the red center. So we can align it like this. Now the red-white edge matches with the red center, and the white edge is on the bottom. We can do a simple F2 to bring it up, and now it matches with the white center. Here we have the blue and white edge, so we can match the blue and white to the blue center, and then do an F2 to rotate the face so that the white matches. Now these two are matching. Sometimes you may have a flipped edge piece where it is in line with the correct center, however, the white faces you instead of the green. What you're going to want to do is bring it up like usual with an F2, and then do this set of moves so we can match the edge color with the center and match the white up with the white. once you have the edge in the correct position but flipped, simply do U prime, so that's the upper face counterclockwise, R prime, U, and that matches it up correctly without disturbing the other pieces. And then we can bring it up with an F prime. Finally, if you have an edge piece that is stuck in between two centers and is not on the bottom layer, you can bring it into the bottom layer by putting the edge in the front right, doing an R prime, a D prime to move it out of the way, an R to restore the previous cross edge, and then you can align it up and then do an F2 to solve the cross. Step 2, solving the first layer. Now we've made the white cross. Now we can solve the first layer by inserting the corners. Remember, these corners have 3 colors on each piece. We are going to need to solve 4 corners. First, you're going to want to flip the cube over. Now we have to find a corner in the top layer that has a white sticker on it. This corner has a white sticker on it. Now you need to observe the other 2 colors. Here, there's white, and then there's orange and blue. What we can do is rotate the cube and find the orange and blue centers. Here they are, orange and blue. Now you're going to want to rotate the cube so you have the correct centers in the front right and the empty slot in the front right, where the corner would go. Now we're going to move over the corner over the slot that it needs to be placed in. We can move this over with a U prime, like so. Now it's over the correct slot with the correct centers to the left and the right of the corner. Now you're going to do a specific set of moves. This will be a very useful set of moves to know. R, U, R prime, U prime. Now you can see that our corner has been inserted and matches with the rest of the colors. However, if you do the set of moves R, U, R prime, U prime, and it doesn't match, just repeat the set of moves until the white matches the rest of the white on the bottom. So R, U, R prime, U prime, it's out again, and then we can do the set of moves again. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now it matches. Here we have the white, red, and green corner. Now we can find the correct centers that go with it. Here it is, the red and the green. We can hold that to the right, where the green is facing right and the red is facing front, and move this corner over the top. Now we can do the set of moves again. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, and still not inserted yet, so we can do it again. R, U, R prime, U prime. It's incorrect, so we keep going. R, U, R prime, U prime. Still not there yet. We can do it one more time. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now it's correctly inserted. If there are no corners in the top layer, you can use the same set of moves to take the corner out of the slot. Here we have the blue, white, and red corner in the incorrect slot. To take the corner out of the slot, we can use the same set of 4 moves to take the corner out of the slot and insert it elsewhere. R, U, R prime, U prime. And here it is. Now you can bring it over to the top of the correct slot and then just do that set of moves again. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime. We here have the final corner, and we can just insert it. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime. Now we have the entire first layer solved. Here are the algorithms to solve the first layer corners. Remember to position the corner over the top of the slot you want to insert the corner in. Remember, there is also the PDF linked in the description with all the algorithms. Step 3. Solving the middle layer. Our next step is to solve the middle layer edges. Here we want to find an edge that goes in between 2 centers. Here we have the orange and green centers. We need to locate the edge that goes in between. Here we have the orange and green edge. Now we need to find the color that is facing outwards from the edge. In this case, it is green. So what we need to do is match it with the green here. Now, since it's on the left side, we can do this set of moves to insert this edge into the bottom. U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. However, if your edge doesn't match the front color, it matches the color on the right. What you can do is this set of moves if it matches the color on the right. U prime, F prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R. That will insert it if it doesn't match on the right. You simply need to just repeat this process of inserting edges for all the other remaining edges. There should be 3 left. The algs are on screen for your reference and are also in the description. Feel free to pause the video here. If you have an edge in the incorrect slot, you can use either one of the algorithms to take the edge out. For instance, this green and red edge should be in this slot instead of the blue and red slot. So what we can do is just use one of the algorithms. Let's use the one that matches to the right, just to take the edge out. U prime, F prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R. And now you can see that the edge has been taken out and is in the top layer. You can then go ahead and find the correct centers and then insert it. If your edge is flipped, you can just use one of the sets of algs that would usually insert an edge to take the edge out, then insert the edge as per usual. So here we can do the right matching insert, U prime, F prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, and that takes it out. Now we can solve it like normal. Step 4. Solving the yellow cross, edge orientation. Our next step is to solve a cross on the top of the cube. Here it will be a yellow cross. There will be a total of 4 cases, including when you have the entire cross already pre-solved. If you have a case with no edges facing upwards, with no yellow edges facing upwards, you can do this set of moves to make 2 edges face upwards. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then F prime. Now you have 2 edges facing upwards. Here, if you have 2 edges facing upwards, you can do a U2 to put them into the back, and then do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. That'll move the edges here. Finally, with a horizontal bar like this, you can do the set of moves again. That will make all the edges facing upwards. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Now we have a cross. Here is a diagram for all the cases you could possibly get and the steps to get to all 4 edges oriented, or facing upwards. Feel free to pause the video here, and remember that there is a PDF in the description with all the algs. Step 5. Permuting the yellow edges. Our next step is to move these edges around so they match their centers. Either they all will be matching, or you will have 2 that do not match up. Here we have the green and the orange matching the centers. However, the blue and the red do not match up. What you need to do is find the ones that match up. You may need to do some random U moves to match 2 of them up. And once they match up with the centers, you're going to need to put that into the back right. So the green is, one of them is matching up here, and one of them is in the back, matching up with the correct center. Now you're going to do this set of moves to swap these 2. R, U, see we've taken this pair out here, R prime, U, now it's up in the back, R, U2, that brings it all the way around here, making sure the white is matching, R prime, and then a U. Now we can see all the edges now match up with the correct center. Again, here is the alg to swap the 2 edges in the front and in the left layer. The back and the right edges are already solved and match with their centers. Again, the full PDF is in the description. Step 6. Permuting the yellow corners. Now we just need to move the corners around so they're in their correct position. It doesn't matter whether the yellow is facing upwards or not yet. Here, we need to locate one corner that is solved into the correct position. Here we have the red, blue, and yellow corner sandwiched in between the blue and the red. That means it's in the correct position. you're going to want to find your corner that is sandwiched in the correct position according to its colors, and put it in the front right. Here it's in the front right. Now you need to do this set of moves to cycle these around until these are solved, the back 3 corners. We use the following alg to shuffle around the back 3 corners. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. Here it only took one set of moves to solve them. In some cases, you may need to repeat that set of moves again. If none of the corners are in their correct position, then just do the alg once, then you can find a corner that will be sandwiched in between its correct edges. U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. Now we can find the corner that is sandwiched in the correct position. Here, this one is in the correct position. Then you can just do the alg again within the front right. Again, here is the algorithm on screen to cycle the back 3 corners. Step 7. Orienting the yellow corners. Now, we need to twist the corners. Not literally twist them, we can do moves to twist the corners. Here we have one corner that is already solved. Don't worry about that one. We need to worry about the ones that aren't twisted and facing upwards yet. So here we've got this corner that is in the correct position but isn't twisted upward, and we've got these two as well. What you're going to need to do is follow very closely so we can twist all the corners. This will look like you're scrambling the cube, however, if you do it correctly, it will solve it. So here, we put the incorrectly twisted corner in our front right, and we do this set of moves until this sticker matches with this edge. So that is R prime, D prime, that's the bottom face twisted counterclockwise, R, and then a D. That is the bottom face going clockwise. You see it hasn't been solved yet, we just do that again. R prime, D prime, R, D. It hasn't, this yellow isn't matching with this yellow yet, so we're going to need to do it again. R prime, D prime, R, D. Nope, still doesn't match yet, it's still not solved. R prime, D prime. See how it's matched up now? R, D. And now that one is matched up. We're going to need to find the next incorrectly twisted corner. Here, there's one here and one here. You can choose one, and then use a U move or a U2 to bring the corner in the front right. Now we can do that again until this yellow matches with this yellow edge. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. Still doesn't match yet. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And now it matches. Now we have to find the final corner. Here, we can bring it over with the U move, so it's in the front right. And now we can do that set of moves again until this yellow matches with this yellow edge. R prime, D prime, R, D. Doesn't match yet. R prime, D prime, R, D. Still not yet. R prime, D prime, R, D. Still not yet matching. R prime, D prime, R, D. Now it matches. If you need to go back and rewatch this step, click the time to go back and rewatch this step. This may be a bit confusing. Now we have the cube almost solved. Just do a U2 or a U prime or a U to match the rest of the top face up, and congratulations, you have solved your cube. Getting faster. Now you might be wondering, how can I get faster at solving this thing? The number one method is to practice. With experience, identifying and solving steps on the cube becomes a lot faster and quicker. Of course, this requires that kind of scary word, practice. Repetition leads to experience, and that is invaluable in every skill, including solving the Rubik's Cube. An important step in getting faster at solving the Rubik's Cube is learning a proper speed-solving method. A very popular method is called CFOP, which stands for cross, F2L, OLL, and PLL, and makes a number of refinements and changes in steps in order to be faster and more efficient. This is one of the most popular methods and is refined in order for quicker solving. A video tutorial for CFOP will be linked in the description. There are some other methods too. RU and ZZ are among other popular methods. RU is popular for its intuitiveness and less algorithms, along with a lack of rotations. ZZ is based around orienting all edges before proceeding to solve the cube to reduce rotations. These are very interesting methods, and I'll link some overviews and tutorials in the description if you're curious. Competitions. Cubers get together quite frequently to compete against each other in World Cube Association sanctioned competitions. The World Cube Association is B-cubing's governing body for official competitions where cubers come together and compete for the fastest times. You can find out more about these competitions in your area, or even organize your own if you're so inclined, by going to worldcubeassociation.org. That'll be linked in the description as well. There are some online competitions. These are less serious than the World Cube Association competitions, as they are online, but they're a great way to just practice every week, or however often you choose to do so. Cubers.io, Speed Solving Forum, and some others will be linked in the description. Community. There are plenty of ways to connect with other cubers, both in person and online. Competitions are one of the main ways that cubers get together and connect in person. However, online, there are many communities such as on Discord, Reddit, on different forums, and through other social media like Facebook. I will link some of those in the description as well. A lot of people will be happy to help you try to get faster, simply by just recording yourselves and sending it to them. Although please be courteous and follow the rules of all the online forums and social medias. Other puzzles. There are many other puzzles other than the traditional 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Other puzzles range from all the way from 2x2 to 7x7 in World Cube Association competitions, however can get larger, along with there being other non-cubic puzzles such as Megamix, which is a dodecahedron, Square 1, which is a shape-shifting square, and other non-WCA puzzles such as the Kilomix and Mirror Blocks. Other resources. My channel has some pretty brief resources on solving the cube faster as well, and I will link a bunch of other people's YouTube channels and other cool places you can check out to get faster, to learn more about different puzzles, and to learn more about the speedcubing community. I'll also link some other timers and other websites that will be useful for yourself and your practice in the description below. Thanks for watching.